everybody, back with a brand new Cabral Concept. Sure to be a controversial one here today because we are calling out Big Pharma with an F and Big Pharma with a PH, plus specifically glyphosate and its replacement, which might be even more toxic. Why do I want to bring this up? Because you probably heard about BPAs in the past, right? 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, BPAs in water bottles, all of these different things, right? The bisphenol A. Well, here's the issue. They replace it with other plastics that can be just as toxic, even more toxic. So we know that Bayer, B-A-Y-E-R, the owner essentially of glyphosate, the Ready Roundup, yes, they had to remove it from home-based use. Why? Well, they were found in court, or they were found to settle with over 100,000 lawsuits claiming glyphosate in Roundup caused non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a type of cancer. So this is obviously devastating for people, for families, and now the number continues to climb for over 160,000 people. And again, these are just the people that have even heard that Roundup, glyphosate, could cause cancer. So what I want to share with you is that, in natural health, these are not scare tactics. These are legitimate things. People every single day end up saying, how is it that 1 out of 2 people are going to have cancer in their lifetime? We live in a toxic soup created by these commercial-based companies that are literally, they know this, they've known it for decades, maybe not initially, but they've known it for decades that these things can cause cancer. They keep them covered up, so much so that if you look at some of the states, Missouri, Iowa, I believe 2 of the states now, they don't even want you to know the replacements for Roundup that are coming out. They're trying to ban any talk of saying on this product contains glyphosate or glyphosate-based replacements that I'm going to share with you right now. They've been dubbed the Cancer Gag Acts. So Cancer Gag Acts of 2025, or essentially, Missouri, Iowa, and others are trying to prevent local governments, there's that Boston accent, from banning pesticides, or even letting you know that there's a possibility that they may cause cancer, even though some of these replacements aren't even allowed in the European Union. So they aren't allowed in Europe. Why? Because, let me just give you one of them right now. It's called Diquat. I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce it. I've never actually heard anybody say it, but it's D-I-Q-U-A-T. I'm going to give you all of the Roundup-based replacements. But this has been banned since 2019. So it's not like they just took it off the market. It's been 6+ years due to safety-based concerns. Why? Well, it's linked to liver, kidney, and reproductive damage in animal-based studies. Now, there could be even more. We don't know yet, but it's been sold in the US. It's still sold in the US as of this year. So it has been labeled potentially 200 times more toxic than standard glyphosate. And those are based on chronic toxicity metrics like the LD50 or the NOAEL in some reports. So again, these are coming from real science-based reports. My issue is that people are not being told that, they'll see on the label now, Roundup, or they'll see that it says instead of Roundup free, it'll say glyphosate free. And people will think, then this is healthy. Right? Like if it says natural, people are like, this is healthy. It is not necessarily true. There's no standard for that. So let's go over the 4 chemicals they're going to replace Roundup with right now. And again, when I say Roundup, I mean glyphosate. And it's so unfortunate because one of my neighbors in Maine, many of my neighbors in Maine are well into their later 70s and well into their 80s, and a couple of them in their 90s, and they're amazing people. They are salt of the earth. They're literally salt of the earth people that are lifers in Maine, and they're great people. I mean, they really are. And I do my best in my own little way to help them in any way I can. If I'm up during the winter, shovel the driveways and, take barrels in, those types of things, like the little least things that, we all would like people to help with us. But the reason why I'm saying that is that we also get so much in return, my family, with being able to chat with them and listen to stories, and just like they're the original ones in the neighborhood in Maine. So it's like great, even though my family's been going there, in a little tiny cottage that was open for 5 months a year since, I don't even know, but it's probably been we'll call it the late 60s, early 70s. No insulation, boarded up windows, like all of those things. The season's beautiful, but a lot of those people have been there as well. And so again, we want to protect these people. The reason why that story really came up is one of my neighbors the other day is out there. She's hunched over. She has, osteoporosis for sure, most likely other health-based issues, and it's not my job to pry, and she's there with the pump, pumping the weed killer in her driveway. Now, does her property look immaculate? Yes. Is she out there moving her body, gardening, all of those things? Yes. But unfortunately, she's spraying one of the most toxic things that could lead to cancer. So this is why my job is just to do my best to get the word out there. And then you just likewise share it with those people that you love, that you care about, that are in your community, and that you have a little bit of that connection with. So here are the 4 things that you'll want to look for on these labels if they don't completely ban those labels. So the first one is diquat. Again, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but close enough. Diquat dibromide, so it's a bromide. Let's see if we can pronounce this next one. Fluazafop P-butyl. It's F-L-U-A-Z-I-F-O-P-P-I and then butyl. The next one is triclopyr, and the last one is imazapic. And so all 4 of these are different weed-based killers. Now, remember how they have to work. They have to work like glyphosate. If they have to work like glyphosate, the name or chemical compound may not necessarily matter. It could be the effect they have and then what they need to be able to do in order to do that. Now, when those things are touched by the human body, inhaled by the human body, maybe those all cause cancer, not just the glyphosate. So again, I wanted to bring you all of this here today, and then I obviously want to share some tips with you too. So not just tips that I'm sharing, there's a lot of great cancer-based practitioners out there. Cancer support practitioners really is what we have to call it. But other people giving great tips, and I would just want all of us to try to promote it as much as we can, because the more our voices are out there, the more they really do make a difference. And I wanted to share with you just the last couple tips is that just because you purchase something that says non-GMO doesn't mean that glyphosate hasn't been sprayed. So that's an important one. Now, GMO foods usually do have some type of glyphosate or one of these things sprayed on them. But what you want to look for is organic, and usually now a glyphosate-free symbol on it. So one of the things that we try to do, let me just talk about what products that might be in the most danger for glyphosate or glyphosate-like pesticide or herbicide to be sprayed on it. Those are oats and wheat and potatoes and lentils and breads, cereals, grains, those types of things. And here's why, is that they don't just spray them to keep the bugs away and the weeds away, those types of things. They spray them as part of the drying process so they don't mold. So it used to be that glyphosate was used early in the season, and then that's it. And all the rain and those things, it would wash off a lot of it. Because again, I try to be unbiased. But not lately, years ago, they started to realize that if they harvested too late, they could get mold. And so instead of trying to predict the right time to harvest, they would actually just spray a few weeks before harvesting the glyphosate, which would remove and cut back on any of the mold. And so that would obviously save the crop. So it's very fascinating, and that's why it's not always used for the original intended purpose. So when you look at your grains, and I'm not saying that grains are bad for you, some people are more sensitive, there's no doubt about that, but what you want to be aware, and the potatoes, which aren't even necessarily a grain, is you just want to look for glyphosate free. A few of the things that we do, like on our nutrition bars, and what else do we do it on? We just do it on any product that potentially could contain glyphosate. We lab test it, and then we just obviously show the symbol that it's glyphosate free. You're going to see that happen more and more, not just at Equilife, but other companies as well that are trying to do the right thing. In the meantime, the best thing that you can do is buy organic as much as possible. Follow the Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen. Every single year, I link up the new Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen. We link it up on Equilife on social media. I'll link it up here today as well at stephencabral.com/3462. And then even after you get a lot of your produce, not with your grains, of course, but a lot of produce, is just try to wash it in either a baking soda or maybe an apple cider vinegar or ozone-based solution to try to get off any pesticides or anything like that that might be on it. And then just as much as you can, just follow your detox-based routine. You've got your overnight intermittent fast, you've got your sauna to be able to sweat it out, and then you've got your quarterly functional medicine detoxes like the one that Equilife does. If you've never heard about it, check it out at stephencabral.com/detox. It's a great way to just keep emptying that rain barrel every 90 days or 12 weeks or so. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, the goal is that the more that we know, the more that we can protect ourselves and our family, and then of course, pass it on. Keep this information flowing. Today's show, once again, is at stephencabral.com/3462. Have an amazing day. I'll talk with you tomorrow on a brand new Cabral Concept. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.